over the course of this year just gone, I've actually added quite a few Wishlist plants to my collection. I'm actually quite surprised at how many I actually managed to get. So the first one is the pink Syngonium, and this was one of my obsessions last year. This one's actually starting, if I turn it around, you can see it's starting to get a bit heavy. It's starting to trail, so it might be time to think about some support for this one soon, or if not, just let it trail. But yeah, this was a plant that I was absolutely obsessed with last year, and this is actually several plants in here. I think there's either 2 or 3 in here, because I did end up buying quite a few because, as I say, I was kind of obsessed. And yeah, I feel like this one's probably going to do quite well in the growing season next year, because the first year that I had it, it was kind of just settling in, and it did have some pest issues too that I got rid of. And yeah, it's come through quite nicely. So I'm very much looking forward to giving this one a bit of a glow up in 2025, hopefully seeing it grow maybe a little bit faster as it's a little bit more settled in its environment. I don't know if anyone else has experience with this plant, if yours has grown quite fast. So far it hasn't really grown that fast, but I have only had it for one growing season, and I often find plants take a couple of years to kind of really get into their groove. But yeah, this is definitely one that I absolutely love, and I'd say that probably even if I was to see more of these in the shops, if there was a good bargain, I probably would buy another one. That's how much I love them. So yeah, really happy to have added this one to my collection. Another one that I really wanted for some time is the Philodendron Ring of Fire. And yeah, I managed to find this one. I believe it was Dobby's Garden Centre I found this one. And yeah, I just absolutely fell in love with it even more when I saw it in person. It's got these really cool kind of serrated shaped leaves, and yeah, it's got the kind of speckled variegation on it, and I just think it's a fun philodendron. It's one of the upright philodendrons, so it does kind of grow in a rosette formation, but I guess you could give it support if you wanted to. You can grow it that way, but so far I've just got mine like this. And yeah, this was just a little one when I got it, and it's grown new leaves fairly consistently, but I'm definitely looking forward to, again, going into my second year with this one, because that's usually when they start to kind of perk up a bit. Next is a plant that I wanted for absolutely ages, and I found this one that has fairly large leaves. I don't think it's actually done that much growing yet, but I just absolutely love this version of the rubber plant. It's got this beautiful kind of reddy tinge to it. This leaf here is absolutely gorgeous, look at that. And yeah, I had this on my list for a while, and I actually did end up buying a small baby one, but then I found this one for a really reasonable price, so I bought another one, and yeah, I'll probably pop them up together at some point. But I just think this is one of the best rubber plants. It seems a little less finicky than the Tineke, a little bit more robust. I'm not sure why, but I really like this one, and I do love plants that have a kind of a red or pinky tinge to them. And this one just ticks all the boxes really. It's just as easy to look after as some of its more common cousins. And yeah, I'd definitely like to have a nice fuller pot of this. Maybe I will propagate in a couple of years' time, but this year coming up, I plan on just giving this one some space to grow and just really settle into its environment for its second year. Another really huge wishlist plant for this year is by Syngonium albo, and yeah, this one was right at the top of my wish list. I have wanted this one for quite some time, and I finally managed to get one, and this one is actually doing really well. It's actually growing still at the moment, and winter just started here, and you know, it's quite cold, and it's still putting out new leaves. And it's still fairly compact, as you can see. It hasn't started to vine yet there, but I can see new leaves coming in under there. I don't want to poke it around too much because, yeah, this one is probably my favourite plant right now, and I do probably plan on getting this one climbing, to be honest. Even though you can let it trail, I think I like the idea of having mine climbing. I've always kind of just dreamt of a really nice, luscious, full climbing Syngonium albo. But I just think this one's really pretty and delicate, and I do like the way the leaves are all different. There's a really nice leaf with some amazing variegation. But then if you compare it to this one, they're just all totally different. And that's what I love about this plant. This one here has a kind of a chunk of white on it. Yeah, this one definitely has exceeded my expectations, and I guess I'm just a Syngonium person through and through, because I always seem to find Syngoniums extra interesting, and they're one of the genus of plants that really tends to bring me the most joy, it seems. This next one is fairly recent, and this is the Philodendron Painted Lady. I bought this one online and it has kind of lost quite a lot of leaves. It's a little bit floppy, and I think this leaf and some of the others are doing okay. But this is a really big wish list plant for me, and I just think this plant looks stunning when it's established and growing up something, and that's my plan for this plant. But at the moment this one is just so very small. If I turn it around, you can see it has a few other leaves too, but it's a very small and delicate baby at the moment, and yeah, I'm just going to do my best for it, really. It maybe wasn't the best idea to be buying plants kind of at the end of the growing season. I think in future I might avoid buying plants outside of spring, summer, just because they have more of a chance if they've got a bit of growing to do, you know, especially with not just their leaves but also their roots. So next year I might avoid buying plants during the colder months. But I'm hoping this one will come through. If it doesn't, then I'm still going to get one because they are quite readily available. So I will get this plant, but yeah, I'm hoping this plant in particular will grow for me. But yeah, this is a huge wishlist plant. I just love this. It's got some really cool colouring, and yeah, I just think it's one of the most beautiful philodendrons. Speaking of philodendrons, this is the Philodendron Beatier, and I'm holding it with my jumper over my hands because the pot it's in will give me an eczema outbreak, so I have to be careful. But this plant is absolutely gorgeous, and honestly I didn't really like plants with longer leaves before I got this one, but now I have this one, it's really changed my mind on that, and I'm finding that I'm actually quite attracted to philodendrons with the longer leaves. But this one is actually putting out a new leaf back there as well, which I'm quite surprised about because I wasn't really expecting a new leaf. We have got a couple of leaves going yellow, which is fairly normal because I bought this one online. I'm just hoping it's just normal yellowing, you know, from adjustment, and you know, lower leaves do go yellow. I'm hoping it will be okay. But yeah, this is a real wish list plant for me. I actually also fancy, there's another plant that kind of looks a bit similar to this one, the Philodendron Atapuense, I think it's called. I'd really love to get that one too. But yeah, this is, I don't know, there's just everything about this one is cool to me. It's got kind of really glossy, waxy leaves, and I love that, the way that they're really kind of thick, and then you've got the lovely orangey stems. Yeah, I'm really glad that I added this one to my collection, and I'm really looking forward to growing this one up a pole because I hear it can grow quite fast, which would be great. But yeah, as I say, it's still growing a leaf now, so I am interested to see what it will be like when things start warming up. So yeah, this is an exciting plant for me. Next up is my string of hearts, and I fancied one of these for the longest time, and yeah, this one is absolutely growing so fast. Look at all that lovely new growth. I can't even get it all in, I'll hold it like that. But this has been a really satisfying plant. It grows really, really fast, and it's really easy to care for. I absolutely love it. And yeah, I didn't think I'd be very good with this plant. I thought that it was one of those kind of divas, but it's not actually. It's been absolutely fine, and I've really enjoyed having it. And yeah, I'd say it's definitely one of my favourite plants now as well. So I just think it's a really elegant plant. It makes a lovely hanging plant, and yeah, it's just really pretty, and I don't know if you can see, but this one does have kind of pink backs to it as well. There's a little bit of pink in there. It might be hard to pick up on camera, but yeah, I'm really glad that I gave this one a go, because as I say, I've been admiring them online for a number of years. I've just always thought maybe I'm not experienced enough to care for it, but actually it's really easy to care for. So if you've got a similar kind of thought, give it a go. You might find that it's actually way easier than you thought. Next is my ZZ plant, and I recently got this one, and this one has been on my wish list for a while. I just haven't really seen any that spoke to me. They are pretty easy to get hold of, but there were other plants that I wanted before I bought this. I also have the Raven version, and yeah, I just love ZZ plants, so I'm really happy that I managed to find this one, and it was at a good price too. And this one seems to be doing okay. Just checking it. These are new leaves here, so they're still quite soft, and yeah, I just think these are really cool plants, easy to care for and drama free. And as I say, I did have both ZZ plants on my wish list, this one and also this one too, which is the Raven version. I also managed to get this one, so yeah, I got two ZZs. I'd say if I was looking for another type of ZZ in 2025, it would be a variegated one. I don't think I would buy any more kind of normal ones like this, because I only need one of each, but if I was to see a variegated one, I'd definitely get one of those. I've never seen one in a shop, so you never know. Sometimes they have kind of specials on and they have a bit more unusual plants. Another wishlist plant I managed to get this year is my Philodendron Prince of Orange. And yeah, I just love this one. I still love it as much as I did when I first got it. And it's just a really cool plant to have. One of those easy ones. And as 2024 went on, I did find that my taste in plants kind of evolved and changed, and this one has remained one of those plants that I just have loved all the way through, and I definitely haven't changed my mind on this one. I really love watching this one grow. It's so rewarding because it's really easy care, but it just grows so nicely, and it's one of those plants that when I have a little walk around my collection, I always look at it and think how pretty it is. I had wanted a Philodendron Silver Sword last year, and I didn't actually expect to get it, but no sooner had I kind of discovered it and put it on my wish list, I actually did manage to find one in the garden centre, and it was at an amazing price too. It was already on a pole, and as you can see, since then I have extended the pole. I actually took it off its old one and put a huge new one on it, and this one grew so fast. It actually didn't really take much time to settle in. It started growing straight away, and yeah, it's just been one of those dream plants, and I just love the shape of the leaves on this one, and I love the colour too. It's kind of got like a bluey, silvery tinge to it, and yeah, I wasn't actually expecting to find this one so soon, but I think literally a week or two after I decided I like one, I found one, and yeah, I jumped at the chance of purchasing it and adding it to my collection. And I would say it's a very easy plant to take care of too. It's one of those kind of plants that you can just leave in a nice spot and not worry about it. Even though mine did have some thrips in summer, I did manage to get rid of those, and it did have a bit of damage. It lost a few leaves, but it's come through it, and hopefully in 2025 I'll see this one grow even further. I also have plans with this one to kind of fill it out a bit and put some more plants in the pot next year, so I'm kind of excited to give this plant a bit of a glow up. Next is another climbing plant that I absolutely love, and yeah, I had this on my wish list for the longest time and I just could not find it in physical shops, so I did end up buying this one online, and I'm so glad that I did. It was a real bargain, to be honest, and it's just remained one of my favourite plants ever since. I love the shape of the leaves, I love the variegation in it. You do tend to get lots of different types of variegation with this one, and yeah, it's just one of the best plants. It's really easy to care for too, and I just absolutely adore syngoniums, and this one definitely stands out as one of the best Syngoniums. It's really, really cool. Some people call it Syngonium mottled. It's also known as Syngonium mojito. It probably has lots of other names. Many plants that we buy, they tend to have lots of different names. So, you know, maybe you know it as something different in your country. So I actually had the Pothos Marble Queen on my wish list fairly early on in the year, last year, and these are easy to get hold of, so it wasn't hard for me to find this one. And I actually bought this little trailing one first off, and yeah, I do love this one, but I also then found another one that I bought, and I have that one climbing. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep that one climbing. I'm considering maybe putting it back to being trailing, but either way, I love the Marble Queen Pothos. It's really pretty. I mean, just look at that stunning variegation. It's, in my opinion, one of the best plants. You get amazing variegation, really easy care. So I'm really happy to have added this one to my wish list twice. Another plant I really wanted to get hold of this year was the Monstera adansonii, and I really wanted a kind of a large plant, and I managed to actually find this one. And yeah, it was reduced to £20, and yeah, it kind of turned out to be my dream Monstera adansonii, and it has grown so quickly. As you can see, I have given it a pole extension, and yeah, it just continues to grow really, really fast. I think I've kind of come to the end of how I can extend it now, but I just enjoy how crazy this plant is, how it just grows really fast and kind of takes over. It's very jungly, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward again to seeing it grow even more during 2025. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of propagating with this one. I figure I can have Monstera adansonii in every room if necessary. But yeah, it's one of those plants that is just so easy to look after, so easy to propagate, and just is probably one of my all-time favourites. So I'm really glad that I added this one to my wish list this year. I'd be really interested to know what plants you added to your wish list this year. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Take care.